I'm not really that cool. I just play cool on TV. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Are you going to read your poems off of your iPhone?
Yes.
It says the name of the typewriter.
I don't want to kill trees, you know. All right. Now, some of you know, and many of you don't. I'm from Florida. It's a terrible, sweltering place. Lots of mosquitoes, stock cars, a couple of gray beaches, and good Cuban food. I've written quite a few poems about Florida, and none of them were all that pleasant. They might be pleasant to you, you might like them, but Florida is just the place I love because I'm from Florida. This is a poem about a town in Florida, a town you've heard of. And of course, as many poems of place bring you to realize that they're not really about the place, they're about the person in the place. This is called Daytona. Though I'm good for parts only, I still grab at the dark. For your sweat-rubbed palms, while the curtain makes shapes back and forth like the tenses we share. A matchstick breeze somehow rattles the keys in my trousers on the floor. This room will be swept and tidy until morning, when the palms rise against the heat that telescopes the dark rectilinear sea all the way up. I see the shape of the wind in your hair in the dark. Papery sky as my witness, without a single continent of cloud to light it. I count myself okay to sleep. That probably should have been the last poem. Okay, so speaking of missed opportunities, Kat didn't mention how much I like barnyard animals. You know, that's the thing. You know, I was a kid in the film era, right? And digital cameras are better than film cameras. It's true, but there's a certain joy in having to see something before you take a picture of it, right? And this is something I'm writing a series of poems about. And I've got the first two of those. Probably 5 or 6, but you can take that as sort of a meta element of the reading tonight. This is 2 out of 5 icons of reality. 1, missed pictures. Bike racked to a car, covered to the spokes in flowers, passes a man in yellow, white, sorrow in the shadow of his own garage. The car turns, the wreathed bike. I have only eyes and hands. The camera turns my fingers cold, too slow to lift. Some things I will not remember. Here, a range of colors, come apart, but a shorter regret than the lives I've lost in love. The round-eyed faces tungsten lit in the last hour, before it's goodbye and goddamn. And many things of my own I will not be able, even when I see them, to write in light, but only to know as pain I cannot see. All right, part 2 is a lot more fun. It's about blowing up a barge. This is called Bombing the Carl Zeiss Barge, 1945. And, Carl Zeiss is a famous optics manufacturer. They make lenses and cameras and all sorts of stuff. And the sonar is a lens model. aren't you guys glad I'm here to explain stuff? And all these poets are like, you know, why don't you write that in a, you know, in an epigram? And I just won't. I won't do it. Common cause I start. I built fast sonars, which then were new. Junghan and I had been arguing an hour, going between centering and dioptrics. We saw the foundry workers file into the glass-pouring barge at 8, just after the drawbridge came down on the river, so they could start to pour all day in the water's calm frequency. I lifted the sonar into the window to check the centering one more time. There was a groundswell in the floorboards, and the sonar filled with fire, then cloud, then the fountaining river. I don't remember the sun in any of it. Those who didn't drown there boiled in chemicals. The coatings made a rainbow in the water that swept into the dark beneath the drawbridge. A perfect lens can make you wish for the dark. Okay, that was 2 out of 5. Let's see here. Oh, this is a really cool thing. The internet's wonderful. Right? This is something posted on a dating forum, an online dating forum by one of the board members of JB Morgan. All right. This is what he posted. You know, it was in reply to a post by a beautiful woman looking to marry a guy who makes 500 grand or more a year. All right, this is JB Morgan board members reply to this. Hence, from the viewpoint of economics, I am an appreciation asset, and you are a depreciation asset. It's not just normal depreciation, but exponential depreciation. If beauty is your only asset, your value will be much worse in 10 years. You know, that guy gets laid a lot. This is called exponential depreciation. It took me a long time to wrench anything clear of a beholden eye, but beauty, unlike the sacral diamond in a brass statue, is not so lovely once you chase its shape with a knife and pry it out. Try sometime the long leap between yourself and someone who might want to have you, such as your own mother, or even mine. Go on, try it. But you didn't, so I'll tell you what would happen. You would be gratified that you have established such sympathy. You'd pick people up in fog with your tanker of a brain and claim to know them. You're right, a face doesn't last. You're also right that money is wasted on looks. It's better to spend feelings on looks instead. Plant your greenbacks in the front plot. What you've left out of that deal is one of the few secrets you've never known, and one I will share with you today for not much more than your best suit, maybe a Metro card. Here it is. I know how to make my own beauty when I run out. That's right. I can supply you or anyone else with a new face, or even a leap back to when your old face led you by the hand. You'll have to do what's noted as your buy-in, so you can come closer to what a shit-broke poet learns from fasting. Buy yourself a Brooklyn Bridge. Shake your shoes into the river. Stand among the girders, and don't take your eye off the water. God damn it. See if you can find your face in the royal. It's R-O-I-L. All right, this was an impromptu poetry assignment given to us by Kat, actually, a month or 2 ago. And to write a poem about a news clipping that said that a bottle containing a sort of
Message.
it was like a banknote or like an IOU for like a penny or so. It was like basically a scientific letter. You're supposed to send it back, and they were using these bottles with these pieces of paper to track currents around the UK. But that's the background. Here's the poem. It's called The Span of a Shape. Currents leak into what makes a look, memory becoming news. Gulls sweep into their millions and join the waters musketing. A bottle plants the hand of a dominie who once raised it as the boys went black into the pale aftermath of a school day in the nostril of the tugging ocean. In 98 years, sand will sink it green, where a sitting swimmer might have lost all his warmth in the sea. Inside, he will find an IOU for 6 pence. That's how much it was, 6 pence. All right. See here, I told my students that if 4 or more of them showed up to this reading, I would read something I wouldn't read otherwise. Well, we got 3. Okay, this is a poem in honor of Felix Baumgartner. You guys know this name? He jumped from space. No big deal. This is my sort of my typical cussing poem of the night. So if you don't like bad words, you might want to cover your ears for the next 2 minutes. Yeah, got two people here. Oh yeah, I'm just telling you. This is called Icarus Finally Says "Fuck You" to the sun. The Earth looks like it is all. Sorry. The Earth looks like it all fits beneath Icarus's weightless foot. A ball of twine borrowed for a pickup soccer match. At last he's done it. There's no reckoning as his waxed wings come apart. No more waking up back in his cell, hungry, wearing nothing but a new pair of wings. He's high enough up to see the night wading into the pale ocean. The chills he gets at this were once terror. By now, his escape is well known. He's fallen a billion times since Crete, and, he figures, he's learned a thing or two. He shrugs away the long wings, puts the axe of his hand to anything that gives him flight. The Earth begins to reel him back in, himself beyond the struggle. Icarus crashes through the atmosphere, a flesh-made sonic boom, and feels the terrestrial gases slip through his fingers like the diamonds of a chandelier. He's going 24 miles down at 800 miles an hour. And that's 4 minutes, he hopes. At least he can't see the night now of the proud hidden planet. He says, finally, up to the sun, "Fuck you. You candle-sniffing fuck fence. Go climb a wall of dicks, now and forever." He then makes his long talked-of bargain with the authorities he knows so well. Gravity will overlook the white wing hidden in the shade of his body if he can pull off a singer's entrance into the amphitheatrical dunes of New Mexico, having perfected the longest fall. All right, I'm afraid I'm going to have to bore you for a lot longer. You know, like, you don't have to flatter me. All right, I recently got a new guitar, and I really love it. It's beautiful, it sounds great, it makes me better player. You know, that always makes me happy. So, I wrote this series of poems for the guy who built my guitar. He's from my old hometown, back in Florida, and he builds guitars from start to finish. He takes a lump of wood and he carves on it until it looks like a guitar. Rather, he cuts away everything that doesn't look like a guitar. So this series is called Big Bill Brunzi Teaches the Glory of Love. Big Bill was a great blues singer who played a really good guitar for Ken and Virginia Miller. Part 1, The Rain Without. The Lord says it never rains in the garden, and that in such emptiness, a root might make for the sky, feed on nothing but light. Root to grove makes the best stumps. Even Adam knows this by now. Shade makes a dense, tight set of rings in a cold year. Light had shared a name with sorrow in the beginning. And Adam knows only to split them now, afterward. Forever, the wind makes a hobby of slicking Adam's various furs with rain. The trees, both the stump-worthy trunks that stain the ideal grass with their calculus fruit, and the decorous propagations that arch the walks of eternity, were never driven away. Eve has the notion to run for the trees each time she wakes suddenly in the huge, drained nights. From all the fruit, she guesses that a tree yields more than just fruit. The first rough frame of timber starts a new horizon. Eve's house is the first ring of a hammer against wood, crude likeness. The rain reminds Adam of a sound he must yet rename. It is the voice of the earth's solidity, silence that rides against all change. Part 2, Discipline in Nazareth, 1934. This kind of goes with the sort of the bombing the factory hall. This is about factory workers at the Martin Guitar Factory in Pennsylvania who were hired in the early 30s because they were Martin family members escaping Germany. And they were all master craftsmen. They built wooden cog wheels, they had gears for clocks and cabinets and everything. So they really were able to bring that expertise to guitars. This is called Discipline in Nazareth. These look nothing like the spruces we brought down from the Jura, but they'll work. Wide grain, ugly. The tree of sin built a golden, sweltering house. We'll do better with these. Are you listening? Make sure the planes and rasps are sharp, then come back. Look at how stiff the shade has made the wood. We must cut it thin as a swing, cut it thin as a wing. Man, damn it, that was the best line. We must cut it thin as a wing. Stradivari and my ear taught me all this, and you'll learn the same. Carve the top braces as if they grew that way. Vault them. When you sing in church, you want your voice to ring. The player's hand will drive the top the way the Lord's voice echoes from the rafters. Hit it like this, with your knuckle. When it's right, you'll know. Don't forget, come war, come love, you must always seek the wood's fickle resonance. Look at Johann there. See how he stoops? He made clocks back in Markneukirchen. You know what he whispers? that each tolling of the steeple turret of St. Nikolai's kills a brown shirt, that each day bears him a bad piece. Go to him, watch his hands for him, learn to purfle. All right, 3. All right, key to the highway. This is for Big Ben. You drove me through this red guitar, little woman. You let that lock rust fast. All I hear back is one faint engine, its mirage, big as day. I walk until the wildfires smell like meat. I walk until the stones leak in the creek bed. The guitar fits in the shade under an awning when I don't. The road bleeds me but doesn't drain a tear. You lay me down at night, still on the pike's long shoulder. I have my halo early, my hair roots white. I sling a song for you around my picking arm. Grip each chord by the throat. I trace my foot in the dirt before the wind kicks out what I've left. In the peeled night, I sometimes see the city yonder till the sun comes up. You trail the same cord down my ribs. A firefly goes in and out of the sound hole, seeking its own kind. Without the night, it isn't much. I see it blink its light through the pale spruce. I tie these highways together for a hammock. I bear all things outward. The roads spread the weight. My eyes water light each time the box calls for an answer. How do I do on time? Do I have to finish up?
How many more you got?
Too short.
Go ahead.
All right, part 4. Lukey's Last Supper. The sort of wintering day you need not forecast was when Lukey, not lucky but smiling, regained the curb in whose truck I can't say. "How are you, sis?" he said. We didn't go inside because Poppy would have called the police on his no son. I shared 3 biscuits and some chicken with him across the ticking hood before he drug out the coffin case of the old Martin and said for me to get it out of the cold and back to Poppy. He said playing takes time he don't have, stirring his soul on the gas pedal, and he was gone from the law and from love. I climbed the porch, carrying all I could bear, besides a stack of bird bones and Poppy's dead guitar. All right, last part, part 5, Hearing Your Way. This is dedicated to a great player who died this year, Doc Watson. He was about 93 years old, blind guitar player. The source richer than air never needs relighting. From the dapple-dot machinery of fingers, music rises. This guitar demonstrates by joy the limits of a dark room, an eternity of toil through its wasted box. Remember the tarred macadam peaks the mountain by and by. Remember to sing for everyone to come out and help hold your best night up against its own weight. You hear somewhere a field, mid-rumble, stalk-woven wind scaling the rain. Never ask a question, since the sound hole does not receive. Never raise your hand to juice a tear. Simply withhold all silence. Then, like eye-blind Doc Watson, who rode his farewell up a road he could finally see, but still mostly hear, you will arrive. Thank you.